Oh no, I'm flying blind. Ah, now I can see. Well, hello, glue troopers, and welcome back to the alternate TARDIS. So, I actually made some notes today, a few things I want to cover. Actually, a lot happened today. Once I got to building, I got working on the P-38 and I did the canopy. Now, this does have a canopy mask that comes with the kit, but I didn't realize I got started that although it's all printed, you have to cut it out. Of course, with an X-Acto knife, that's very easy. I actually found scissors because a lot of straight edges worked real well for a lot of the parts, and it wasn't that big a deal. Got the canopy completely masked. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will go and clear coat it. But I ran into a couple of little hiccups today. One of them was the forward windshield. To me, Tammy has done something really nice here. The canopies, the clear parts, actually include part of the what you'll be painting green, so that you won't have. We often have trouble getting a canopy, to seam up nicely against the fuselage and not look like a little acrylic piece wedged on styrene. They've made the canopy oversized with what's part of the airframe so that you'll be painting it, so you have an area around it you'll be able to clean up, and you won't have that line, that demarcation line between the acrylic and the plastic at the bottom of the canopy like we're used to having. It'll be down in the fuselage where you'll be able to clean it up real nice. That's a real clever thing to do. And but the forward one, because this cockpit is very complicated. It's got a lot of parts. It's got every single radio in there, the gun sight and everything else. The P-38, the gun sight hangs from the windscreen, and so you have to put all the stuff on the windscreen, mount it to the glare shield to put that in, and it is super snug. It took me a couple of tries, and of course I had to pre-paint everything, so you're trying not to mess up the paint job at the same time. Well, anywho, but I got it all in there, and the pilot figure has a separate head. I haven't got started on him yet. I'm not sure if I'll put him in there or not. The other problem I ran into, by the way, the back piece just dropped into place. The middle piece, once the forward and aft were in place, a little snug, but it wiggled it in there. It was only the front one that gave me trouble, and it's mostly because of that glare shield that's on it. But the next thing is that those little pieces of the gear doors and actuator arms and everything that are sticking out of the bottom of the airplane, I broke another one and bent another one today. It's hard to manipulate the airplane. You can't set it down. You got to set it down upside down. And while working on the canopy, somehow I moved it. But I've got all the pieces. I saved them, so I'll get them back in there. But that's kind of like my only complaint. You really need to have this thing in some kind of holder. It's not a good one for freehanding because of that. And this is if you're making wheels down. If you're making wheels up, it doesn't matter. But by the way, the gear doors are two pieces, an inner door and an outer door, which is really cool because you can paint them separately and put them together and save you a little trouble down the road with masking and everything. But anywho, so just to make a demonstration of what I talked about earlier when I was putting the wheels together, this comes with two sets of wheels. Well, actually 1.5 set. The same inner for all three, but two separate outers, because the F model has like a cover over the wheel, whereas the G model has the spokes exposed, and this is the F model, so I'm using one with the cover. But when I was putting them together, they do have one tiny little alignment pin, but three also like lug nuts. You can only put them together one way, so that's great. But again, the whole thing with the burrs I was talking about, I went ahead and shaved them off, and when I was fitting, I was like, yep, still need to shave off a little more, and that was a good chance to take a photo, show you just how tight the tolerances are. And of course, once I sanded it down, it fit flush. But again, you got to get those little gate burrs all the way off. And that's pretty much where we're at now. I never got out of the TARDIS today to see if I've got the right color paint or not. I think I do, but either way, I'll wind up probably painting the thing tomorrow or the next day. But I do need to clear coat what I've done now so I don't get any seepage underneath the tape. Not going to be perfect, but it's going to look good. And that's where the P-38's at right now. I actually, after doing all that cutting and masking and trimming and everything else, having to look so close at it with the optimizer on. I actually got a headache, had to stop for a while. Next on the agenda, great news. Mike Machat got his computer fixed, so he'll be back to getting stuff online fairly soon. And he actually sent me this as a teaser. He's working on probably his most elaborate project yet, and maybe a teaser will get out in the next day or so. But anyway, good on you, Mike. Glad you got that fixed. And speaking of YouTube channels, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've had a blog for a long time. I haven't made an entry to it in years, but it's called Pilots and Prop Wash. I'll put a link below. But I decided to go ahead and start a dedicated aviation channel. It'll kind of be to models or to airplanes, what this is to models, just free for all gab session, whatever I feel like making videos about. I won't be putting out daily content or anything. It'll sort of be my little vanity project. But and I was going to call it Max's Hangar, but there's a very established YouTube channel that I watch regularly called Rex's Hangar. English guy, does a lot of profiles, a lot of very interesting and oddball aircraft. And I thought, you know what, I think I'll keep it different. I do have one placeholder video up right now. I'll put the link to that below also. And I have no idea what I'll do. It'll just be aviation stuff, whatever meets my fancy whenever. But this is still the primary focus. So that's what we have for tonight. Still planning a live stream Saturday night. I have things to do tomorrow, but hopefully tomorrow afternoon I can do some model building. Maybe get over to Hurricane Hobbies, and once I inventory, see what paints I need. And I think that covers everything for this evening. Pretty productive day, all in all. We even went grocery shopping. So guys, take care of yourselves. I hope you're doing well. And as always, model on.